Are back with another live episode of CCW Insider with Executive Director Nelio Costa. Nelio,
it's
how's
live.
it going?
It's live. Anything can happen. If you remember last time, I was nearly canceled for my so many hot takes, and this time I'm gonna be a good boy, or am I? Who knows?
You know what? You're gonna have to respond as things come in because this theme here, it's Ask Nelio Anything, and I have questions.
Well, not anything.
Well,
okay, anything. Fine.
Maybe anything. You could just not answer.
Yeah, I know. I'll try to answer anything.
So if you have questions,
I have never been a felon. I've never been to jail. So for the most part, I can answer almost anything. I'm okay. I'm clean.
Yeah. So if you have questions, throw them in the comments, whether on your YouTube or Facebook. Throw them in the comments, and we'll get them. We'll get them coming. So there you go.
Banging and banging. David Heath is watching. Oh no!
Mm-hmm.
Now I can't. Yeah. Now I
so behave.
The man.
All right. So we did get a couple of questions in early. So let's start with some of those. Got some of those mailed in.
Okay. So I know that some people messaged me questions, and I was like, you can message Ryan the questions. It's not how.
Well. So the first one is Jake St. Patrick's coming back. Where has he been this whole time?
Man, when you have to miss something, when you want to miss something, it has to go away. So Jake, who had moved to Central Florida, he had some different stuff going on. Obviously, you've seen him on AEW and all the awesome stuff that he's been doing. He was in a situation where I think he was out there trying to, when you're really close to being signed by an All Elite Wrestling or a major company, sometimes you need to go out and just do something to push yourself over to the next level. And I feel like, he was out there trying to do that. But at the same time, we've grown a lot. Jake he was an assistant trainer here, and he's been here with us for years and years and years. He was here when I got here. So Jake St. Patrick, but you want to be missed. The audience needs to miss you. So now he's back, and he's going for the CCW heavyweight title at Conquer Kissimmee tomorrow at Son of the Beach, Old Town, which we're so excited about. So so I would say just when he went out, he did some different stuff, and now he's back. We're happy to have him. We're excited to have him back. Great technical worker. I mean, he's a great teacher and a great guy.
Yeah, and so he walks back in and he goes right up against Ariel Levy.
Is he the champ? Is Ariel Levy the champ we deserve? That's a great question. Oof. That is a great question. Look, I have to say I'm partial to Ariel in the aspect of he is an internationally well-known actor. So we have a lot of new eyeballs there. Has he won his matches in a fair and square manner? Is he easy to deal with? No. But it is what it is. To go back to finish the question. What was the question?
The original question was about Jake St. Patrick.
So to finish with Jake St. Patrick, when former Southeastern champion, he has an incredible overall record at CCW. His return in Orlando, I said, let's make it a splash. And we circumvented the rankings, and we put Jake as a number one contender tomorrow.
Walks through the door, gets the championship match against Ariel Levy.
You said Ariel Levy, the South American superstar, but you made that sound. You're like, oh, he just walks in the door.
Well, in some way, there's probably somebody in the locker room who's thinking that, right?
It's true, but you have interesting matchups potentially because if Jake is able to defeat Ariel tomorrow, you have a dream match of Jake St. Patrick versus Chris Farrow in Homestead waiting for him. And then there's a list already of contenders. So as we saw with Cha-Cha Charlie's reign, he had 6 or 7 matches ahead of that Ariel Levy match, contenders lined up. Unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever, whoever you decide to cheer on, when Cha-Cha Charlie lost, those matches had to be changed. Some of the retained Cha-Cha Charlie with no title stipulation, and some of them Ariel Levy, fell into Ariel Levy defenses. So anything can happen in CCW. This was 2 months ago. Anything can happen.
Sure. More questions coming in. Kumite Part 2 coming this year?
Yeah, Joe, January 21st. So tickets are on sale. Buy it right now, Joe. Joe is a season ticket holder the Kumite is included, but Joe, you got to buy season tickets for next year because it's in January, Kumite 2, and then July will be Kumite number 3. I loved it too, Joe. Kumite is going to be on the YouTube. All the matches starting Wednesday of next week. You'll get a match a day, and then the full show will be available on 20th or something, whatever that, maybe the 23rd or the 17th, the 23rd, I believe. The whole Kumite in its entirety. I watched it yesterday. I was blown away. We sent it to our television affiliates, and there was some stuff in it that was a little too shocking, a little too hardcore for some of our television audiences, but it'll be up on the YouTube. And then if you're joining us from our television audiences in California or in New Mexico, thank you for finding us. That's cool, right?
Yeah.
You'll see some of the Kumite on some of those episodes as well.
Absolutely.
Jody, you're the best. Jody was recently an extra in a Kylene King was attacked by Jesse Elaban, and Jody happened to be watching the practice. So,
all right,
that's now it's canon.
Well, here's another. Speaking of Kylene King, questions coming in. Is there a chance we could settle who is the real ruler of Florida?
Kylene
match.
Kylene is hiding behind the Facebook user tab. I want to know, Kylene. No. Is there a chance we can settle the real ruler of Florida with an intergender match between the MF and King, Kylene King, versus the Florida man? Oh, I thought it was Ariel. Okay, it's possible we might see that. No, we don't. We don't have an intergender division at CCW. One of the things is we want to wrestle for titles, and if there was an intergender match. The woman would have to officially enter the heavyweight division or the Southeast division, and that would disqualify her from the CCW women's division.
Okay. There are some other questions coming in here,
but who knows? I mean, Kylene has the size advantage over the Florida. I'm just kidding. Trevor versus Kylene. It's an interesting match.
Yeah.
Kylene versus anybody. If you saw this weekend, Kylene is, I watched her overpower Renee Michelle on Sunday. I watched her have a great match with Roma. I would put Kylene King against anybody in the world, pound for pound fighting, but I don't see that happening this week.
Fair enough. One of the other questions I had mailed in, when will we see Marina Tucker back in CCW? Sooner
than you think. That's the best way that I can say it. It's funny because we did have something fun and interesting for her as a surprise. And she's working with Women of Wrestling out in California. They've been taping a lot of wrestling. So she was unavailable. We're excited for her to be on Women of Wrestling. We're excited. Well, there's a few wrestlers of ours, female wrestlers that have, alums. But Marina, being the champion that she was for the years that she was, we're really excited to have her on there as well. But it really comes down to availability, but sooner than you think. It almost already happened.
Okay. And you're getting claps for that. So.
From the Dragon, from Javier Olmos, the Dragon, Ricky Fisher. Ricky is a great dude. He was just awesome. He was here on an excursion from GWE in Panama. Shout out to them, and he did a really good job. I really like that guy. He helps. I can't get the smell out of my office couch. Ricky, he was sleeping in the couch. Can't get the smell out.
Is Alan S2S Martinez getting a rematch?
You bet your ass he will. We saw Jay Vidal have an amazing match with Chris Farrow in Homestead after he won the title. Jay was at Effie's Gay Brunch this weekend, so he wasn't at Bash at the Brew. And then he will be wrestling Ariel Dominguez in a no disqualification match tomorrow in Kissimmee. If he can survive that, I'm sure Alan Martinez is waiting for him. There is another potential challenger, current All Elite Wrestling talent who believes he has a stake at the CCW Cruiserweight Championship. So there are talks about that. So if Jay were to survive Ariel Dominguez's onslaught, or if Ariel Dominguez wins, you might see an All Elite Wrestling maybe October 1st. I don't know. Yes. No. No.
Okay.
If you guys are big South Park fans, David Nelson, words are like bullets. Not a plan at the moment.
Okay. Any thoughts on a collaboration show like GCW does with Black Label Pro? And then the different CCW versus GCW or stuff like that.
Yeah, there had been discussions in the past. It's not out of the realm of possibility. We use a lot of we use some talent, of work on each other's shows and all that stuff. I do like a lot of the stuff that Brett Lauderdale is doing. It's not out of the realm of possibility. I want to pull a Walter White, like stay out of my territory. Like I'm gonna see Brett Lauderdale leaving a Home Depot, and he's gonna be like,
I saw the cruiserweight champion Jay Vidal.
That's true. You were there. You were there at.
I was. I saw his match.
And I am from Chicago. I was born.
Yeah.
I was born in Chicago. Nelio Beach, Chicago. I was born there, and I have a home in Villa Park that I rarely go see. So I normally would be there a lot more, but I just haven't been. When am I coming to Chicago soon?
Oh, Chris Thrasher is asking about a King of the Ring style tourney. We had something similar to that not too long ago, right?
Yeah, but it didn't. No, it was different. I know exactly what Chris is asking for, and I'm just gonna say wait, because October in Pompano Beach we have Halloween Hardcore Heaven again, and then November.
So Chris also asked another question earlier, and I'm going to riff off his question. When is Vinicius going to make his return to CCW, or has Ariel just come down?
It's been really difficult. Obviously, he was on concussion protocol originally, and then he had a bunch of injuries that he's trying to work through. He was currently in São Paulo, Brazil, for a little bit, and just working through as much of the rehab as possible, and we'll see. I wish it was a situation of like sooner rather than later. Trust me, I do, because I think there's something there with Ariel Levy and Vinicius that is unfinished. That would be great. That's something that would be great. But there is a possibility that he never returns. There's a slew of injuries, a frayed tendon in his right leg, and a bunch of stuff that I know that he had been dealing with for months. So there's some stuff that is, it just takes time. And as soon as I know, I'll let everybody know.
All right. So you're in communication with him and keeping tabs on his injuries. So, okay. I guess this is just a personal preference. Rohit Raju or Sting?
Sting. That was like Sting. I love Sting. I've met Sting, but just as a fan, I met Sting, and I'd love to meet him again. I'd love to meet him now, in my older age. I love Sting. Dan Ackerman knows Sting. Bruno Sassi, who founded CCW with Dan, they were friends with Sting. They worked in TNA and stuff like that. I'm sure Dave. I'm gonna ask Dave. Let me ask Dave right now if he knows Sting, because I love Sting. But no, I would say Sting.
Yeah,
close.
All right, Joe Perry back with another question. Any talent that you think is going to break out this fall?
No, because I know
you're on the cusp.
Yeah, well, there's Chris Farrow's on the cusp. I saw him have one of the best matches of his life, and then he had a great match with Blake Banks. Damian Fenrir is always he's on the cusp. He has what it takes. Do you mean the CCW guy, Damian Fenrir?
He's going to be working with the champ tomorrow too, like we already mentioned. So he's
if you're talking about a CCW talent who's going to break out, there's a couple guys that like Meadow. You see what is that? We have a deep roster of blue chippers ready to go, and it's really about when a guy like Alex Chamberlain or a guy like the veterans like Jackal or a veteran like Cha Cha Charlie, when are they going to relinquish that spot, that they're clinging on to, like it's how hard they work, how hard they put everything together. So is Meadow ready? Yeah, I think Meadow's ready is but Meadow has to wake up and take the spot,
Right.
or Damien, or who else? I mean, Damien is seasoned. I'm not saying that like everyone can get work in, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying that Meadow's green or anything like that. It's just like those guys are ready. Or are you talking about CCW guys? So another CCW guys that I think is breaking out.
This was the question. I think he is. Yeah.
It's just CCW or just all talent in general, because was Ozzy Killmeister too has done very, very well recently. Joe Garcia won his first match at the Kumite, and he comes and he busts his ass. KA Slash, he reminds me a lot of early Chris Farrow. 2023 should be Beastman's year. Beastman won the CCW International Championship in Nashville in a bloodbath against Chase Stevens. He refused a return match in November. I know Chase pissed about that. Chase will have a different match on that card. These are coming at me rapid fire, boss. Yeah, Chase will be back. 100%. Chase is a CCW guy. To go back to Beastman being Beastman's year, he's wrestling Joey Janela on Saturday at JCW, and he was signed to MLW and it didn't work out. And Beastman's really freaking talented.
Yeah, so lots of so here's a
Beastman originally hurt Vinicius in December on December 4th of last year. So you can imagine, he's someone who's he can put the hurt on.
So there's a bunch of questions coming in here. So there's this question coming in, which kind of goes with that other one we were talking about with the collaboration.
Well, merging companies like BRCW, Boca Raton Championship Wrestling. It's really, really cool because I love Matthew Moschler, who has been awesome, and I love Neil Glazier, who's been awesome, and we've kind of all three of us come together to kind of work really hard on this concept of. It's like it's a really chill, hyper local, badass show with really awesome talent on it, and it's just been really, 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 really fun. So as of now, the plan is 5-6 shows a year for BRCW, which is like a sister, like an offshoot brand that we're working together on, and it's been a blast. So I mean, merge? I don't know. We are merged. I don't know. You want to see a war, Stacy? You want to?
I think that's. I said.
Is that what she's asking?
You
want a war?
A war.
Jack Talos versus Cha Cha Charlie. Bull James versus Ariel. Let's do it. Oh, Kerry Morton versus Ariel. That match was amazing. Kerry Morton, by the way, amazing. Brutus Beefcake, who I he's come in for CCW, but I've been spending more time with him through the BRCW project. That's when I was a kid. I wished I hung out with Brutus Beefcake more often. So yeah, I'm having a blast.
Somebody in here, and I'm looking at. There's tons of comments that have come in. So somebody asked about Kevin Sullivan. So I'll ask my question.
About the devil himself, the Taskmaster, spoke to him earlier today. Yeah, I literally had to hang up the phone to get on here.
Yeah, I got the press release yesterday that he's joined the executive committee. What does that mean? What's going on with Kevin Sullivan?
Meaning that when you have I have Gangrel, who has been doing this 40 years, who is incredibly smart, who is incredibly well-known, who is an amazing wrestling mind. Have Dan Ackerman doing this, who's been founded this company 18 years ago, who's been, through the territory systems. Then you have Bill Alfonso, who is an incredible, incredible, incredible mind. And when you have a guy available to you like a Kevin Sullivan, and you need to pick his brain about, what it is to run a professional wrestling company. So I don't like to pull the curtain back too much and say exactly what it is, but you'll see Kevin doing color commentary. You'll see him hosting the show on Saturday. And it's just having somebody where a guy like Gangrel looks up to Kevin Sullivan. When I was 10 years old or younger than that, Kevin Sullivan was beating the WWE in ratings from 94, from 95. Those 83 weeks, I know Eric Bischoff is a huge reason for it because he brought in a lot of talent, but I really do believe that Kevin Sullivan has booked probably the best 2 years of television, some of the best television. So when you have a guy who's that smart and that humble and that approachable, and you have him around our students, and you have him around Meadow or Lakai or Ariel Levy or Agony, or it can only be positive things. So he'll be working directly with myself. He'll be working directly with Dan and Gangrel as as one of the team.
One of the Facebook users is stirring the pot a little bit, though. Wants to see Kevin Sullivan's. I mean, the Dungeon of Doom.
Expose yourself, Facebook user. I want to know who asked that question. I don't know. I love it. I love it. I mean, I love it. I will. Maybe we will see that. I mean, I love the Dungeon of Doom.
Okay, here's somebody.
Beastman would be
Joe asking Ariel Levy versus Santos. Santos dropped the title to Cha-Cha, and he's been around here and there. But what about Ariel versus El Jefe?
I spoke to Santos this week. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
He never got a rematch for his championship. He's working very hard to secure the border right now. He's a security contractor. He's working out very, very hard. He's going to consider him like the Adam Rose of leaving and becoming jacked. He's jacked. So that would be a match. Just spoke to him.
Okay. Boss B asks, is Dan Lambert going to continue to be more involved? So I know there's a match for Bash.
Yeah, October 1st, Bill Alfonso versus Dan Lambert. I tried to talk some sense into Fonzie. I sat with him, and it's 20 years since that bloodbath of Bill Alfonso and Beulah in 12 days. Now, September.
25 years.
Yeah, 25 years. Oh, my God. I'm down. When you wake up feeling old, Ryan, I feel old.
I know.
That is 25 years since Beulah and Fonzie, and I would expect something of the sort on October 1st. I've had national press, a gentleman from ESPN called me about it. So obviously when Dan Lambert's involved, things get taken up a notch. Do I love having that match? Yeah. Am I, as someone who loves Fonzie and wants him to not die? That's a scary match that I tried, but Fonzie demanded it. And you'll see tomorrow in Kissimmee, he'll speak a little bit about that. He demanded a match with Dan Lambert. And Dan Lambert was happy to oblige.
Is the no DQ beneficial to Fonzie or Lambert?
Fonzie.
Yeah, I think so.
Because you'll be able to pull whatever he wants out of his hat, and this will be a situation where me begging him not to do something crazy. So, October 1st, tickets are on sale right now. The pre-sale is excellent. I didn't expect the type of reaction I have gotten for announcing that match.
Well, it really jumped off the page.
It's good.
Yeah.
Wrestling's gotten pretty real over the last couple of weeks.
Yes,
things are happening. So this is we're just stirring the pot. Let's have Fonzie and Dan Lambert, kill each other. Yeah, Fonzie is crazy. Yes, correct.
All right.
There was a Cha-Cha Jackal question. Yeah.
That's it. This is the Cha-Cha Jackal question.
It's a great question. Jackal Stevens currently is going to wrestle Agony on October 1st. I know they loved tagging together. They've been demanding to the office to give them another opportunity against Elevated Status. They demanded for that title return match at the Kumite. Was one of the best matches ever. I don't want to spoil it. Well, I guess everyone knows. I don't want to spoil it, but it's great. The match was great. They do have amazing tag team chemistry. They do want to work together, and we'll see what happens.
One of the questions I had for you is, what are the plans for the St. Lucie show this week? And I did just see before we.
I knew, I knew that someone was going to ask, so I said, "Oh no, I better drop the."
That's right.
There's also Kylene King will wrestle an AEW superstar, but I can't say exactly who it is until it's signed for the title on September 30th as well. But go ahead, you can start.
Well, the reason I brought that up is because of the Cha-Cha and Jackal question, because they are in a tag team match on that night against Chico Adams and Agony.
There's your answer, Stacy.
There you go.
No, honestly, I didn't think they would have good chemistry, but they did, and they do.
Yeah.
And they loved it. They love working together. So, now, does Cha-Cha Charlie want to take himself out of the heavyweight championship rankings and into the tag rankings? Jackal's still the number one contender for the Southeastern Championship. Does he want to take himself out of that division and put themselves officially in the tag team division? That was a special match at the Kumite. So that depends. That's something we'll see. That's up to them, really.
All right. Well, some more questions continue to filter in. Let's talk about you. Sort of alluded to it. Oh, you got something?
No, I just wanted to let people know. So that's this Gangrel, Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, former CCW star, Kevin Sullivan now here, Harley Race. Someone was asking me who's this. Joey Styles. Don't ask; it's a personal thing. And then the last one is Sabu, Rob Van Dam, and Bill Alfonso. Go ahead.
Okay. Most of those guys, have all. I mean, Harley has.
Except for Rob Van Dam and Harley Race. Yeah, Harley Race is not alive.
Right.
Joey Styles either, but that's a different thing. And then Vader. Vader's right here. This one's Vader.
Oh, yeah. You can only see part of
Vader, QT, the Good Brothers.
Okay.
Rank Cage.
Let's talk about this. You alluded to it just briefly, that, the state of the wrestling business. Kind of crazy this week. A lot of stuff happened on AEW, between CM Punk and the Elite and all that stuff. When things like that happen on the national level, do you see any positive or negative cascading effect in the territory?
Man, that is a great question. I am of the opinion. I don't know who was saying this. Someone was saying that if this had happened during Bill Watts was in charge, they'd put a camera on these guys right after they fought each other, and they'd start cutting promos, and they would say, because that draws money is a personal issue. So I'm very conflicted in that. Of course, it's 2022. We're professional people. CCW is a very professional company, but you have few people in a national company with a real personal issue that I would love to see resolved in a combat setting.
Sure.
So I hope somebody can do their best to resolve that on that level as well. A lot of people are talking about, contributing to a toxic locker room and all that type of stuff. So in my time here in CCW, has there been a backstage fight? Yeah, there's been a backstage fight before. I came from team sports. I played football and I did weightlifting and other. It's not a team sport, but I've done team sports. And sometimes in practice, you're gonna fight. You're gonna get snippy. Has it happened here at the training facility? A couple guys have gotten their tempers and stuff. We give each other our bodies, so it's kind of very important. But not to, you don't want anybody ever to just rear back and hurt you or try to hurt you. But I think sometimes a little bit of competitive nature helps. Pro wrestling, it's an individual thing, but it's also a team sport. We're Team CCW. I expect every single guy in this locker room to be Team CCW. But at the same time, I also expect everyone to be competing for a few top spots. People all want that spot on Bash of the Brew. They want that spot on the live wrestling. They want that spot. So if they're going to be aggressive and they're going to want it, I have no problem with that. Now, once it crosses the line, it crosses the line. But as a professional wrestling promoter, if someone has a real issue with each other and whatnot, I would do my best to use that as much as possible.
Yeah. So how do you handle situations like that where you have?
It's different every time.
Okay.
I mean, how would I handle that situation? That's a huge loaded question, right?
Well, yeah.
I would make it work, I guess. How would I handle the situation or whatever?
In the ring.
I don't I don't know those guys, but there's probably a million variable situation, but oh man, I would change a lot of stuff to make it. I would have them work. I'd find a way to make money on it, or they should understand that they're going to be the ones making the money on it. You know what I mean? They should be, and but it's funny because I see people talking about how it was such an embarrassment to professional wrestling, and it's like, well, this is a combat sport. You know what I'm saying? Was it embarrassing for Paul Orndorff to beat up Vader or whatever? Yeah. It was embarrassing to Vader. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, no one at the time said that they had ruined the business. And look, there's plenty of stories in professional wrestling that I've heard straight from the horse's mouth of like guys fighting and stuff. And what sucks is that the news media, like the wrestling journalism and stuff, are all talking about it in the way that they're talking about it. And I think just wrestling is different. Like Undertaker talked about it, where like nobody has a gun or something. Everyone because he's like, nobody has a gun anymore, and nobody's like on pills. They're all playing Smash Brothers, and some of them are at CCW. I try to keep them from playing Smash Brothers in the back, but the fact of the matter is like that's the most like legitimate, cool thing that I've seen in a long time. The problem is it probably overshadowed a lot of stuff that happened during the pay-per-view. I mean, MJF should be the person who's the most upset because everyone's talking about the angle between the Elite and Colt Cabana and not MJF,
Right.
But that angle is hot. It's like the hottest thing in wrestling right now is the Elite and Team Punk, So it's weird. It's weird. I guess I look at it differently. Look, there's one particular feud that's happening like at CCW that's like that I would love to make it work. It's just getting the people involved. I would love it. Just getting the people involved, not to like cross over any lines, and what I mean, and understand that
Yeah.
So hopefully, like, look, Tony Khan has $1 billion. Maybe if anyone can do it, he can, right?
Right. Yeah, getting those personal issues in the ring and out of the
I've had a backstage fight in professional wrestling. I've had a backstage fight as a football player. It's not anything that's like there was no legal ramifications. I would never have thought of somebody calling the police. You know what I'm saying? So it's like things get snippy. It's not the worst thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not the worst thing. Like, especially because it's a combat sport.
Stacy has another good question here. As much as she would love to go to every show, there are times when she can't make it. And she's sure that's the case for a lot of people. Myself, I can't get to them all.
Of course.
How about a live broadcast of your shows?
I know you guys are like Stacy's going to try to make me announce the new CCW network for $4.99 a month. No, it's all in play. We have current broadcasting rights. We have current broadcasting rights stuff that we're working on, and I don't know what the fans will. I don't know what the fans will prefer, and the more information that I know, like how you want to consume CCW matches. Look, right now, and I think a lot of people have noticed this change is full show is edited, matches are edited, the top angles or the whenever I wake up in the morning and decide to put on a live, it's not a live in a 22-minute television format with commercials and with formatted for syndicated television, which is what we do. And then the matches are played in its entirety, a full match. They're dropped after a live, and then the full shows are eventually there. So eventually, that being said, yes, there are talks about switching it to a live format. I guess I am. Joe's behind the CCW channel, so I have one subscriber.
Well, I would subscribe for sure.
So my thought is getting a live switcher, getting myself up to par to run a live show. Because right now we do live to tape. If you watch Bash the Brew, it's live. I mean, I leave whenever Dan screws up on commentary. I leave it in. Unfortunately, it's still live. We're live, pal. But how it's to be consumed. Like if I just give it a, like one of the things too is like building my audience. So I don't want to give too much of the business side on it, but we've had I've had offers, more than one offer, to exclusively house all the shows, and it made it a little bit difficult to deal with certain offers that were put in front of me because what would happen is there's a certain price to put these shows together and edit these shows, but I want these shows to build a new audience. Like we've built our subscriber base. We have new people who come in. And what's cool is like the people who buy tickets, they know what's going on in our show. So the point is like I don't want to sell it off to anybody who put us in less potential homes or less potential viewers and stuff. So Stacey, it's something that I wrestle with every single day, and eventually it's gonna come to a head probably in December of this year. We'll go one way or another. But that being said, yes, live coming soon. I'm working on it.
There's a question here about competition. The idea that you're not just running against the promotion down the street.
Correct.
But the 28 that are streaming that weekend. And also, gosh, the whole Netflix and Hulu catalogs. So
correct.
I don't know if this question is.
Do I agree with that statement?
Yeah.
So AAW is a quality product. They put a lot of time and they put a lot of effort in it. CCW is also a quality product, but we're different too. You can't always think about your competition. Like, am I a competition to AAW? I don't know. I don't think so. I'm from Chicago. I have friends who watch AAW and they watch it live. And AAW show was called Live. We trademarked Live. The point that I'm making is I think AAW has an awesome product, but we have a different fan base who are looking for something completely different. Like we're not just going to put just a bunch of awesome talent and put them together and we're we want you to see the growth and we want to do something a little bit different. So yeah, I mean, are we competing with everything? Yeah, we're competing with the NFL now. Look how many Sunday shows I took off the calendar. We used to run a lot of Sunday shows. Last year we ran Sunday shows during the NFL, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to punt. I don't want to do Sunday shows in the NFL, with a very few exceptions. So it's things like that where, yeah, we're competing with everything. I'm competing with, now that things are open, concerts and Bad Bunny and movies and stuff like that. But yeah, it's very, very different. But we are folks so hyper-focused on having the best live event and being the best live event producers that professional wrestling can do that that makes it like I don't think there's anybody running live events in Florida right now that will compete with what we're doing. So no, I don't see that as competition,
Yeah, I mean, on that subject, I think you got 2 weeks in a row coming up with double shots both weekends.
Correct.
And so
I am excited.
Let me focus this question here. What are you looking forward to? We'll focus it at this weekend.
I'm looking forward. Actually, there's a couple things I'm looking forward to. One of the things I'm looking forward to is an awesome show. I'm also looking forward to hugging and kissing my daughter when I get home tonight. That's a really big thing. I'm really, really looking forward to that. I love her so much. But I'm also looking forward to spending a couple hours in the car driving to the venues with Kevin Sullivan. I'm looking forward to spending some extra time and just picking his brain. I'm really, really looking forward to that. I have trying to soak in as much as I can. And so that I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to spending time at the venues. I really love my venues. We really have a great relationship now with Sun on the Beach in Kissimmee. The Bash of the Brew guys, I feel like my family, Lance, Zach, you guys are like family. So I want to do the same with my venues at Sun on the Beach. And then Chris Qualman next week with Meldon Law, who's an awesome sponsor for us. I'm looking forward to having dinner with him and hanging out with Fonzie. Those things I'm really looking forward to. But also that feeling after a 2.5-hour show or a 2-hour show or a 2-hour 10-minute show that really kicked ass, and then being able to like sleep, whether it's my head hitting a hotel or my head when I hit my house. Like I go into my house and I look for my daughter at 1:30 in the morning. Most times she's asleep. Sometimes she eats oranges and stuff or cheese at 1 in the morning, and do a little bit of that and go home. I'm looking forward to that. That's the best feeling in the world. Job well done. All
right. I can't believe 40 minutes into this show, and I'm going to ask you about this now. You got Sky Blue on the show tomorrow.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. Sky Blue. She's awesome.
Speaking of Chicago, I guess, right?
Yeah, Chicago. Yeah. And Shelly Benson. Shelly Benson is making her CCW debut. We went to the same high school. Her sister dated my friend Nick Bell. So it's one of those weird things like things are colliding. Life is colliding. Professional wrestling and my regular life. And man, Chicago seems to be a lot of people asking me about Chicago, running Chicago, and yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm from there. I probably I can probably call 100 people to come, and they would come in Chicago. Of course, we need like 400, so it's a good start. 100 is a good start, and then
you got to flip your
I want to
seed.
top my family. My family want free tickets, and my friends want free tickets, and so that everyone who loves you and supports you always want free tickets. Right?
It seems like you'll go into debt going into Chicago.
Yeah, exactly. Here, do a free show for these couple hundred people that are gonna, probably.
So tomorrow in Kissimmee is stacked because you've got the championship match we talked about, which is Jake St. Patrick and Ariel Levy.
Yeah, and CCW, the CCW faithful, which is funny because Kissimmee is a lot of brand new people, but the CCW faithful are really stoked for that match. They're wishing that match was happening in Fort Lauderdale, but it's happening in Kissimmee.
Yeah,
the match is gonna be badass. It's gonna be a great match.
Yeah, no,
they've wrestled once or twice before, but Ariel Levy's in a different level now.
Yes. The Sky Blue match we just talked about. Also, you got a Cruiserweight Championship match. No disqualification.
That match is insane. They had a great match, and now it's coming back. No DQ. Ariel Dominguez, who is amazing. He's a Mighty Mouse. Badass. And then Jay Vidal, who has taken CCW by storm. He showed up. He kicked ass. He's taking names, and I'm stoked for it. The heavyweight title will probably be the main event, but if that's maybe semi-main, I would put that 1A. That's a main event as well.
It's been a long time since we talked about Cha-Cha Charlie being like third or fourth down the card here, but he's
crazy, right?
Well.
Don't tell him that. Cha-Cha Charlie is he's wrestling Travis Jacobs. Travis Jacobs is trained by the Nightmare Factory. Not Nightmare Factory, sorry. The Monster Factory. All these factories, start changing our name to the CCW Factory. The Monster Factory, New Jersey, and he's awesome. It reminds me of like a young Razor Ramon. Cha-Cha has a big task in front of him.
Yeah. Well, speaking of big, also Jack Tellos is on the card.
7 foot tall. That's unable to be taught. He's wrestling Sam C. I love Sam C. But that's a mismatch if there ever was one.
Ozzy versus Luke Sampson and the Crown versus the Gifted.
Ozzy Luke is an interesting matchup. Ozzy's on a freaking roll. I am too. Looking forward to Jay and Ariel no DQ. I am too. Ozzy's on a freaking roll, Luke Sampson's on a roll. He beat the Bus in Kissimmee last month. So that's a big one there. And then the Crown. Guys, I'm so excited that the Crown have moved to Florida. They moved to Florida to wrestle with us.
And they're all over here. I think they're Friday, Saturday.
When you move 4 states away or whatever to come here, I feel a little bit of pressure to get them on as many events. I'm just kidding. They are special. They are special. I don't want to. If you are first seeing them or whatever, I don't want to ruin the surprise. But be there in Kissimmee. There are surprises in Kissimmee, by the way. I do have a few surprises tomorrow.
Yeah,
of course. There's a surprise on every CCW show.
Question there. It's we've gone from questions to just comments coming in flying.
No, Sergio, I love Sergio. I went to college with Sergio. He was my former college roommate. But I love you, Sergio. I love Seth. Where's Seth? It's crazy. You've built a great family, Sergio. Like, you're the man. You grew up a block away from me in River Grove.
Interesting. So another Chicago.
River Grove, I was born in River Grove, Illinois, man. We used to call it River Grave because there's more dead people than alive.
There you go. There's the answer to your question.
Harry, that's what it's about.
So Facebook user said Homestead's going to be a super stout card.
It is an insane
hosted by Kevin Sullivan.
Hosted by Kevin Sullivan, and I'm just going to let him. He's in charge Saturday.
There you go.
I just want everyone comes up to me and asks me anything. Be like, just talk to the devil. Talk to the Taskmaster. I really do believe Kevin Sullivan's one of the smartest minds in professional wrestling. I'm not just kissing his ass because he's with us and stuff. But
yeah, because you'll be in the car with him for 2 hours, so don't say anything bad.
That's a delight, considering the amount of people, like, when you spend 2 hours in a car with somebody you don't like, it's so hard.
I mean, Fort Lauderdale to Kissimmee, 2 hours, it's got to be
that's
more.
3.
Yeah.
It's like 3.5. And then, no, I was saying 2 hours from Homestead.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
It's like an hour and 40 minutes to Homestead. We drive a lot here. I'm so glad gas prices.
It's a big territory. Yeah, Florida is deceivingly enormous.
I remember one of the first times I drove down to Florida, I moved out and I drove like 24 hours, 23 hours from Chicago to Florida. And I remember reaching Florida and I'm like, oh, that must be like a couple hours away. And then, this is like, I'm dating myself, but like probably right before GPS, And that was, it was not, it's one of those things where you're like 6 hours later and you're like, what is going on?
Yeah, exactly.
Pass out.
Yeah, and and it continues the whole way. You get to Miami, you're not close to Key West, so don't.
Yeah, exactly. Guys, if you're ever going down to Key West here, you go to Lazy Days, amazing restaurant. You eat at the beach, grilled. You get the big grilled seafood platter. And then afterwards, if you're on a date or anything, you take her to the water. You can drop food into these nurse sharks. That's so if you're watching at home. Fort Myers, Brandon, I knew you were going to that. Soon we have a venue. We have a big venue in Fort Myers that are just asking when. It took us a year to pull the trigger on Kissimmee. Lou Spector he busted his ass to get the things going up there in Kissimmee, but it was a year that we were speaking to that venue before we pulled the trigger. Not to say it's a year before we're going to Fort Myers. It's just that we have 2 shows this weekend, 2 shows next weekend. And, you want to grow sustainably and incrementally. You don't want to overstep your boundaries or overstep yourself. And I've done that. I've done that before in Granite. I've expanded too quickly and in the past. And then in wrestling, you don't want to make the same mistakes.
This Saturday, Noah King was on this show 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yes.
And he's got a big opportunity going against Cha-Cha Charlie this Saturday.
Yes.
So,
yeah. He earned it. I mean, Noah King is good. He is good. He is. I remember the first day that he came into training, and he lied. He lied to us that he had never trained before. That he had never had a day of training. Came in and I said, you know what? He's pretty good. Like he's got a lot. He wasn't good, but he was like got something going on with him. And then years later, I found out that he had been training across town for a few weeks, and then he left and came to us, which is smart move because it gave him a boost out of the gate. Like, this kid has a lot of like potential. Like it seems like he can do something. He picks up things so quickly, but he was a liar.
He had a little head start. Yeah. Let's see. So I know where this question's coming from. Rochester, New York's probably not on your radar.
No, actually, it's so funny. Sooner rather than later. Not Rochester. Rochester's but keep your eyes open. There's some cool stuff happening that we've been invited to, and as long as the numbers make sense, we'd love to do it.
Cool. Let's see. So new faces we can expect to see. I know that you've got always have mystery opponents. It feels like you had one mystery opponent at Bash, another one this Saturday.
Okay, so the mystery opponent at Bash. I mean, the situation. We had planned. Like I kind of like when shows fall apart. Did you watch Dynamite? Like when your back is in the wall, you have to put some stuff together. So we had an agreement on a 8-match deal with AJ Francis, and he comes in. We're so excited. We started an incredible program with Cha-Cha Charlie that you'll see on 2 Weeks on Live. It's incredible. Like places going nuts, fans throwing things in the ring, security upset. And then we get the news on Tuesday that he's signed by WWE. He's back. He's going back, which he deserves because he's huge. He's huge and he's very charismatic. he was there. He was there Saturday. But I almost wanted to just like
Push him out.
rush him with Russ and just push him out there and see what he would do. But I'd probably run away. So you don't want to risk your contract, you know.
But you had him there for that Saturday a couple months ago, and like immediately announced Cha Cha versus Frank.
Yes.
Immediately, like no sooner.
Yeah, like that Tuesday. Yeah, so it was unfortunate. Well, it was fortunate for him, obviously. Like we want everybody to grow. You know, was I so excited that he was going to have a nice long run here at CCW? Of course I was, but am I even more excited that he gets to be on national television and all that type of good stuff? And it was his return, you know, so it's like, you know, he was a CCW guy coming back, all that type of stuff. So that was the mystery thing there. And I was scrambling to put something together, and I said, I need a match card, say mystery opponent. And it went through 2 or 3 really cool names. Not this, like, and then it ended up being a Bull, and I love Bull, and it should have he would have been my first choice, and it was an awesome match, and you'll see that on the live. But the Chamberlain, Alex Chamberlain is a good looking face. He has like good features and stuff. But the Chamberlain Challenge, the Southeastern champion, he'll do an open Chamberlain Challenge. So he doesn't even know his opponent until the day of the event. So I would like to, you know, I want him to be advertised, but I don't want to.
Could be anybody.
Could be anybody.
Yeah.
So that's why it looks like a lot of mystery opponents, Ryan. But I'm not playing that game, you know.
Also on Saturday,
time mystery opponent. I'll do it again soon.
Yeah, you have a collision between 2 former champions. You got S2S and Jackal Stevens on Saturday too.
Yeah, they used to live together. S2S rented Jackal's house, or rented a room in Jackal's house, and that's one of those things where they really hate each other. They really hate each other because S2S would never take the garbage out. Jackal is like not a clean guy, like not like a super but he's clean. And Alan is very messy, so they ended up hating each other. Jackal sold his home because he didn't want to tell Alan to leave. So now they finally that's one of those like back of the house feuds that everybody knows about. So like if this one was for the boys, sorry fans. Like the fans have no idea. But we want to see these two kill each other. Jackal is the aggressor in this case. Alan's like he didn't think he did anything. So yeah, that match expect you know like a potato salad.
Sure. So you already have Bash coming out. So it's not next month, Stacey.
Yes. So Agony will wrestle Jackal Stevens December 1st in a casket match. Everyone go buy your tickets. It's going to be badass. I guess I'll break the news here. Winner of that match is the number 1 contender. That's a number 1 contenders match. So let's see where that goes.
There we go. And yeah, so you have a whole lineup. You got Kylene King versus Ashley Dubois. That's a rematch from Port St. Lucie at next month's Bash as well.
Yeah,
so.
There's also an All Elite star in Port St. Lucie that I'm going to finalize. I'll try to finalize it now for September 30th. I'm checking my text. Who will be potentially wrestling Kylene for that belt? That was the only request, was that she'll do it, but she wants Kylene. She wants the belt. She wants to know where the gold's at. Bring her the gold.
I believe it or not, I think we've covered my questions and all of the questions that were.
No, wait. Let's see. Well, there's more.
Is there more? Bash 21 is going to be awesome.
Best Raw.
Thanking CCW.
Oh, that's cool.
Prizes. Yeah.
Oh, the Saudi Raw was when the best Raw was when they were stuck in the Saudi. Is true.
That was talking about shows falling apart. It was SmackDown.
It was SmackDown, yeah.
And you ended up with Adam Cole versus Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, and I think you had didn't you have AJ versus Finn on a show too? Right?
Yeah, maybe. I can't remember.
That was like when things just fall apart, you know. That's why does Lou always babysit his beer? Let's see what that one is.
Yes, there it is.
Must be, why does Lou always babysit his beer? I feel like that's a riddle.
Yeah, Boss B, we need another clue on that.
Why does Lou always babysit his beer? Oh, because maybe he's afraid the fans are going to drug him. The fans do buy Lou Spector beer. My beers. My request is, please, like when he's had enough, please don't keep buying him beers. And then tomorrow, I hate to blow up his spot, but no, don't buy him beers, please. Tomorrow.
Okay. All right. I think that's it, man. We've got all the questions here.
I have some
Anything you
questions
wanna-
for you, Ryan. What are
Let's
you
go
most
for it.
excited on like where we're going for CCW? What are some of the things that are most exciting for you?
Well, I think from the moment I started with CCW, going to CCW events, seeing this expansion is crazy. When and it wasn't that long ago, right? It was like
It's
2
weird,
years
right?
ago.
It feels like
It,
years.
it feels a long time ago, but like it was only like 2 years ago. And I would go out to the website and you'd have one event.
Right.
You might have one event a month. Now I can't get to them all.
Right.
It's like so. I'm excited. You had the question about Fort Myers. Since I've been attending events, you've gone up to Kissimmee, down Homestead and Miami and Pompano Beach. So you're all over the place. So that stuff, and then I'm waiting to see who's going to be the guy that I watched at CCW that's on AEW or WWE. And I know we've got like Jake Tucker, right? He's one guy who's over to NXT.
Bianca Corelli, someone I occasionally still talk to. That it's just like, but who's next is my question.
Yeah. Who's going to be the homegrown guy? Who's going to be the guy that I watched? One of his first matches that at CCW.
My money's on Meadow. Who do you think? Think it's a girl, Ruthie?
Yeah, I mean,
Kylene, it's like Kylene should be. I mean, I don't know.
One of the questions I was going to ask you is, are there enough female wrestlers in Florida to wrestle Kylene? Because she might run through them all.
Well, WOW has decided to sign every girl in Miami. No, look, we're the Florida territory, but Florida means so much in professional wrestling. There is an amazing amount of talent on the East Coast. There's an amazing amount of talent on the West Coast. There's an amazing amount of Texas talent. I know that Thunder Rosa is doing amazing things in Texas with a lot of different women. So I don't know. Would we be in a situation where Kylene's our Brock Lesnar every couple of months, like bring a big, big money Kylene? I hope not. I love having her on all the shows. She's I'm sure she'd still be there, she's a great person to have in the locker room, and she still works so hard honing her craft at the school, So, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess so. I'm trying to think of like these like huge matchups. Chicago has talent.
Yeah.
Rocky Radley. That's somebody I was talking about this week. Rocky's awesome. I love this next one. Yes, love it.
October Bash. How does it feel to know you'll have a brand new champion?
It's true. Ricky has not been defeated since his return, and he's on a tear. And that's gonna be a huge match. I wouldn't want to bet against Ricky next month. That's for sure. And he's talking about Ariel there, the ring boy we deserve. That's shots fired. But Ariel has to make it there. He's got Jake Logan. He's gonna have to go through a lot to make it there. But let's see. I'm excited for all of it.
Absolutely. I'm back to what am I excited for?
Exactly.
The question that was posed earlier about, being able to live stream or live broadcast, whatever form that takes, being able to get access to, the full shows from remotely, whether that's live or that's a couple days later or whatever. We get some of them now, in a month delay or whatever, but
and I'm working on the ring boy we deserve. I don't want that. Like Ariel's gonna hear that. Get along.
Oh God, that's gonna be a chant. So if you're in Kissimmee tomorrow,
ring boy, ring boy we deserve. I'm in. I have a backlog of Saturday Night Slams and the Kissimmee shows that will be up. I taught myself originally. Put it on that shirt, the ring boy we deserve. I love it.
Man.
I taught myself how to edit, and then we have a couple. But now with working with a production company, when you put something on television, you want to have it look really good. So it's one of those like catch-22s. A live switcher and that system will be awesome. We'll get there. It's just like I said, we do live to tape, and so our boys know, like our guys know, like they're learning to be on that next level. They're learning to be on what it feels like to do a live show with AEW or with Raw. So we do everything live. So why not just go the final step? We'll get there. Imagine like Ryan, how far we've gotten in 2 years together. Like what you've done for us and what we've all done, and like guys like Gangrel, guys like Ricky, like Ariel, like Cha-Cha, like Jackal, Kylene, Eric Christopher. How far a lot of these guys have gone in the last 2 years. So hopefully it's just that continued growth, So yeah, live is easily the next step. So yeah, we'll get there. Just I don't know when, Ryan. Who's your breakout? Who's the next guy like Ryan? Like who's the next guy that who should be on NXT Level Up or should be on? It looks like a couple spots just opened up in AEW, so they might. Who's the next spot?
I think of your tag champs.
Oh yeah,
elevated status. I mean,
yeah,
those guys they've got the look, they've got the skills. Like
ERA is on another level right now. He has it. Like Arrow has it. Ricky has it. Cha-Cha has it. Jackal has it. ERA has it. Gangrel has it. A special kind of charisma that is instantly gratifying for somebody watching. So there's a couple moments with Ernie where I'm like, oh no, I don't know what he's gonna do. If he's gonna call somebody something or something. But it's his charisma is just off the chain. And then I feel like Nova has found his voice.
Yeah.
He starts yelling and screaming and he looks like a maniac. And I said, that's the Nova that I wanted from day one. I love those guys. So yeah. So I could see them at the next level, for sure. Kylene, Anna, Ruthie.
Yeah.
Eric has improved a lot. Who else has improved? Who's the most improved in the last 2 years? Oh, I know who it is.
Well, you tell me.
It's Chris Farrow. Chris Farrow has improved. Like seeing Chris Farrow go from where he is before to where he is now has been pretty special. Jackal is like, if you look at Jackal now versus 2 years ago, like you look at those first episodes of Alive and it's sloppy, Steven TC Reed haven't been around in a little bit. I haven't seen Steve. I know he was dealing with some injuries and stuff like that. I like Florida Man as a single. Yeah. Chris Farrow's been 100%. 2 years from 2 years to now. 2 years ago to now is something else. Yeah, everybody agrees. Of course you agree. But
it's behind it could be Chris Farrow behind the Facebook user.
Yeah, that's him saying it. That's him saying it.
Yeah.
Big shout out to our corporate attorney Daniel Rose too. He's improved the quality of life too around here a little bit. There's when you start to work hard and do like fun stuff, then like a guy like Ricky, Ricky's been in MLW. Ricky's been in the big big companies and stuff like that. The Wrangler has improved. He has improved a lot. I would give Nick a lot, and Nick is a guy who helps a lot. But saying about a guy like Ricky or a guy like Gangrel or a guy like guys who've been at those levels, or you'd be shocked to see my DMs of guys who want to work in CCW, want to help in CCW, like how ecstatic to see a guy like Kevin Sullivan come in and want to work with us. And it's because you put the work in, you build it. If you build it, they will come. You build something that is like a cool platform, and then guys like, look, is Kevin Sullivan motivated by money? Of course, he's motivated by dollars and cents. Who isn't? Is Gangrel motivated by money? Yes, but they want to work. I feel like talent like that also wants to work in a place where like there's an awesome environment of people growing and stuff like that.
Sure.
And that's what this is all about, And this is like something that I know was Dan and Bruno's vision 18 years ago. They envisioned the territory 18 years ago. They were like, I sat in Dan's office in 2010. It was 12 years ago, and they were talking about doing. Oh, we're gonna go to a Koei, and we're gonna go to Melbourne, and then we're gonna go do shows here or whatever. And they were talking, and they would do a spot show, and then they were talking to a fire department here and there, and all this type of stuff, And I was like, of course, I'm just an idiot kid who's just like, oh, okay, whatever, Well, there's ISIS to Amazon. It's really tall. There's Romeo, But the point is we're able to execute and build it, and the talent will come.
Absolutely.
And talent like you, Ryan, like you're one of the things I love about CCW is Tom Holmes, you, Ryan, a guy like Tyler Peters. Like Tyler Peters did a commentary with Kevin Sullivan in Nashville, and Tyler's I think he's very good, but he's also very critical of his work. And for having Kevin Sullivan critique his work and tell him that he is good enough, to be a television commentator, like that means the world to me. You know what I mean? Was Kevin lying? Maybe he was. Is Tyler? No, I'm just kidding. I think Tyler was kidding. Like maybe Kevin was just trying to make him feel better, but he just didn't want. He didn't know him that well. Maybe he thought he was going to stab him if he didn't say that. But the fact of the matter is, that's the type of stuff that I live for.
Absolutely.
And the crowds.
Yeah.
The crowds become a drug. Like when the crowds are down, I feel like I'm withdrawing from that drug, I can't go to sleep the bash crowd. They're so amped and they're so up, and then I go and I'll eat and I'll try to go to sleep, and I won't sleep because I'm so excited. And last Kissimmee crowd, they were just amped and they were big, and last Homestead crowd big. So yeah, that's the thing. And you are a little Barry Horowitz there for you.
Yeah, that's right.
You are killing it.
There we go. All right, man. Well, take us home. What else we need to
guys? Kissimmee. Our Central Florida people, be there at Kissimmee. 8 p.m. start. We're going to be starting out 8 o'clock now there. But that being said, get there early because we might see some cool shit. And then Homestead hosted by Kevin Sullivan. We have an amazing card both days for you. Next Friday, we're in Ocala for Injustice. Jake Logan, Rob Sharp, Scrap Iron. We'll get that. I'll try to get you that poster. It's hilarious. Ryan, do you have it? Just put it up on the screen. It's so funny. It's where Rico put his face and everything like that. You go to Rico's thing, put it on the screen.
No.
Rico's so good. Rico's so smart. He did. He's doing Spanish commentary as well for us. Spanish commentary for Ring of Honor. Kerry Silkin is around. Imagine we have Kerry Silkin, Kevin Sullivan, Fonzie, Gangrel, all contributing and just being awesome.
Yes, somebody from every company there.
Yeah, we're a hodgepodge.
Yeah.
We're a buffet, if you will. I'm a big fan of buffets, as you can tell by my bloated face. We're a buffet of professional wrestling. Time that I spent with Kerry Silkin has been so awesome because he has a really good understanding of the tickets and promotional aspect of it. We had Low Key here with Kerry last week, which was interesting. Or a couple weeks ago. But you have Kerry, who's like a ticket genius, who knows how to maximize ticket revenue and stuff. And then you have him, he's a guy who was so good in terms of DVD video and monetization of content. So to be able to sit with him and let him know, okay, I have X many hours, I have hundreds of hours of content in professional wrestling. I have them all, have them in episodes, and he was able to without getting paid. I bought him dinner at a Chinese place. We shared a Peking duck, and he gave me his knowledge on how to monetize stuff that's priceless. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm monetizing my content and his thoughts and stuff like that. This is a guy who still good friends with the Young Bucks, still good friends with Samoa Joe, still works for Ring of Honor. He still gets a paycheck from it, from Ring of Honor. And then he's here watching my guys, and he's here telling me, who's the shits and who's good. And, having an eye like that, having Kevin Sullivan's eye. But the point I'm making with a guy like Kerry Silkin is it's not just, he's a crazy guy to party with and have a few drinks with. But like that type of stuff is priceless, and um, that's what we're doing here. So Kissimmee tomorrow, 8 o'clock, Sun on the Beach. You better be there. Homestead Saturday, Miami Brewing Company, amazing partner of ours. Then we have next Friday Ocala, which is the Boys and Girls Club of Marion. Injustice, which would be awesome. Thank you, Meldon Law, for sponsoring that show. And then Saturday Breakout, September to Remember, $5,000 ladder match. There's a check. There's going to be a check for $5,000, one of those big checks above the ring. And I think it's 7 or 8 guys are going to be competing for that check. And that's a life-changing check for some of, the younger guys here. But it's also an amazing card. So check that out. And then we have a week off. That'll be my birthday. And then we're back. We're back with Destiny Awaits. Destiny Awaits.
Yeah, Destiny Awaits.
Before Bash of the Brew. Destiny Awaits. I love when that happens. Destiny Awaits in Port St. Lucie. You have Gangrel versus Brian Brock, which is a huge match there. You have Kylene versus a very formidable opponent. You have, and then you have the Crown will be wrestling elevated status, and then Chico Adams in Agony versus Jackal and Cha-Cha Charlie. Still no names for those guys.
Ariel Levy versus Ozzy Killmaster.
And if Ariel Levy can, Ozzy has an at-large heavyweight title opportunity due to winning a battle royal, and he will be cashing that in against somebody in Port St. Lucie. Could it be Jake Logan? Could it be Jake St. Patrick? Could it be Chris Farrow? Who knows?
So Ariel has a lot of matches here.
He is. The target is on the South American Superstars back, and he better be ready for it.
Yeah, he's got a full plate for sure.
We do. CCW has a full plate. Watch us. Alive Wrestling. We have next week. We have Kylene and Jesse, I think. Next week. Wait. We have next week.
I don't have it.
Wait. We have the 13th. Is it? When is next week? The 13th?
Next week will be.
We have Florida Man TC Reed versus Jackal Stevens versus QT Marshall. The week after that, we have Ariel Levy versus Cha-Cha Charlie in the street fight. AJ Francis makes an appearance on that. And then we have Jesse Alabama versus Kylene King. We have on that same episode Gangrel versus Damian Fenrir. And that's all going to be awesome. Plus, we have the Kumite. So check us out, CCW Alive Wrestling, every Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. Go to the YouTube, subscribe. We have a really cool influx of subscribers. I can't wait to get to 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 people. And then also some cool news coming. Man, I hope the cool news. I was trying to get the news done today. Hope we'll have some cool news either tomorrow or next week. And Ryan, thank you so much. I love doing these live things. Thank you for everyone who put their questions in. Thank you for everyone not talking about my former criminal background. I'm just kidding.
Save that for the next episode.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for not asking me, about when I peed my pants in 7th grade.
Man,
I peed my pants in 7th grade.
I'm writing them down.
Schoolyard and stuff. Yeah, thank you for not asking about those embarrassing moments.
We'll get them.
I'm glad some ex-girlfriend didn't come up and be like, "Where were you on this night?" Like, oh no, I didn't say anything.
Yeah. All right. That said, we're out of here. You have been watching CCW Insider, produced by Minutes to Bell Time in association with Coastal Championship Wrestling.